You are listening to Down Home.
These next performers have been a part of Halifax's hip-hop scene since 1987. Over the years, they've worked individually with producers, DJs, and rappers who make their home here on the East Coast. As a group, their debut album, Time Capsule, was just released this weekend, and I recommend you pick it up. Here's why. Put your hands together for Universal Soul!
Local Halifax hip-hop legends, Universal Soul, tell the story of the group's origins in this episode. The group's members, Finley Tolliver, Tracey Williams, and David Adekayode, also share their Scotian experiences.
Breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground, simple breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground, simple breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground, simple breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground, yeah. On a high plateau.
Welcome to Down Home, the Nova Scotian experience from two black men. I'm Derek Wise. And as always, we have Jay Jones.
What's up? What's up? What's happening?
And our guest this episode is Universal Soul. So we have Finley Tolliver. What's up, Fizz?
Not too much, not too much. Thanks for having us, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Tracy Williams.
My brother.
Yeah.
Tactician.
Thanks for having us.
And David Adekayode.
Yo, yo. Voodoo.
God.
With the white hair. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you're using the old voodoo.
Me and Derek and Philly went home. We took her home. Came back home.
Yeah.
For real.
So this is Universal Soul, and this is awesome, man. It's a real special episode. I think this is the most people we've had on one episode.
Yeah, it's a Zoom orgy.
It's a man. You know I'm gonna have to edit that out, man.
Hey, man, you know.
Leave that on there.
Oh my goodness, man.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Isn't that all right? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
That-
safe
that
for
would
not
slide.
safe for work. All right.
As long as we ain't zooming nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
All right, man. So we're gonna jump right in, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Universal Soul. So the 1991, 1992. So that was kind of the middle of the golden ages of hip hop, and of course that wasn't lost on Halifax.
Yeah.
So Fizz, Cuz, talk about Universal Soul's contribution to the Halifax hip hop scene back in the day.
Oh, man, absolutely. So before I go there, I have to go back, just a little bit farther back,
For real?
to a band's name, Down by Law, which consisted of myself, Patty Jones, and Joe Serra. To complete the group was Tracey Williams as our hype man, David Adekayode, Voodoo as one of the dancers, and a couple of other guys. So as you can see already, like this was already part of the melting pot, right?
Yeah.
So long story short is so we were doing shows. We got booked to do a huge show, which was Public Enemy. That was I think aside from African Bambaataa, I think they came in '85. So aside from them, Public Enemy, man,
Fight the power fame, right?
Exactly.
89,
Exactly.
Yeah.
In the heat of that, right? So anyway, so we had that along with Missy Me show, which was crucial. Canadian hip hop, Missy Me. But yeah, long story short is without that melting pot of getting things in order, we couldn't move forward. So after we realized that things weren't working out with us, we meaning David and myself, we formed a group called Black Season, and Black Season was basically kind of a spin off of Public Enemy. You know what I mean? Like just learning about our own blackness, being able to create those concepts and just throwing it down, right?
Cool.
So anyway, so long story short is we had a couple of other groups that were around, because David and I were always we're always thinking and always trying to interchange a rhythm, interchange the beats, just not exactly being satisfied, right? And then finally,
Can I intercept you just for a second, Finley?
of course you can, brother. Of course.
One important thing about Black Season is that music-wise, it was just a beat machine, a live bass player, and a saxophone.
Oh,
With this cheap half a second sampler. We couldn't even sample a second at that time.
Yeah, you had to loop it, right?
Well, we couldn't even do that. We were actually playing things with the drum machine pattern going. We were doing jazz hip hop before it was a thing. And I'm not trying to say that people took it from us or whatever, but I'm telling you, we were doing it because these artists were inspired. They were trained with jazz, and we had that sound going on in Black Season.
You guys at that time, they had a sound like a Diggable Planets type sound.
Cool. Yeah.
Like that's that.
That's actually a good point.
No, if I were to point one, like, because I was playing ball at the time, so I wasn't really even concentrating on hip hop. Even though that guy, that light skinned 6'5" guy, did ask me, so did that other guy. But I said, no, I'm concentrating on ball. These guys are doing their thing.
Yeah.
But they sound like Diggable to me, man, and it was dope. I just love this stuff.
That's cool.
I'm not just saying that. I'm being real.
No, it's true. Yeah, because like back then, there weren't many. A lot of people were doing samples rather than live instrumentation.
Yeah.
Live instrumentation really started branching out when the Roots came along. Right, they took it to and Stetsasonic too.
Yeah, they were doing these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That was the band for sure. Yeah,
talking all that.
But just to follow up from what you were saying, like that's sort of how we had the groundwork, right? So, and that's why I call it beautiful, because you got all of us that were friends, that were really just trying to figure out what we were going to do, and we were always interwoven.
Quiet, sing it now. Ain't it funny how things is going down? The game is changing now. The soul come back around. Tell your moms that the boys are back in town. They up in the spot, any stage they tear it down. Ain't it funny how things is going down? The game is changing now. The soul come back around. Tell your moms that the boys are back in town. They up in the spot, any stage they tear it down. I'm feeling good today, just in case you asking. I saw you on the strip, but that was mainly just in passing. The block is hot still, feel me though, rock skills. I'ma stay in box ill, you know my squad, we clock bills. My soul family, we back in the game. Took a little sea break, now we packing again. Now we hit the road, we in that traveling phase. Now this music got me hot and I ain't slept in days.
True life, it's like a maze, found a way and yo, we still grasping. Cross the ocean, thought-provoking flows and still scoping for that particular. You know the sound expansion, the soul's ridiculous, but chooses flows is classic. But on the way to the top, we lost a little magic. Motivation was gone, developed bad.
You know what I mean? Like always. So it was only a natural progression before Universal Soul came, right? So that's and like you said, 91, 92. That's when that was the birth.
Yeah,
of U-Soul.
So all right. So the Helltown Meltdown, that was was it a compilation song? What was that again? I can't remember, man.
I think it was a compilation album. Yeah,
it was a compilation album.
That was put together by Joe Run.
Was it Joe Run?
Yeah. Joe Run.
Yeah, so
a series of them.
Yeah. It was actually called the Helltown Projects. So that was the actual compilation. But it just like there was so many people. You had Nathan C. You had ourselves. You had Richard Trifree.
Shingai,
who else? Shingai, exactly. Yeah. So you had so many different people coming from all over Halifax and Dartmouth and abroad, right? So we just simply called it the Meltdown.
Yeah,
Bonshaw.
And Bonshaw, yes. Yeah.
Shout out to LCP, by the way.
Yes.
Really speaking about that song was a motivator. That song motivated me to want to do hip hop locally.
Say the new LC is getting raw, along with my other homeboys down below.
Nice. Yeah. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's a good lead-in, actually. So, David, man, what actually led to you wanting to express yourself through hip hop?
That's a good question. I was tired of dancing. I knew that. Yeah.
His feet were tired.
Yeah, it was retired. It was done. Yeah. And at the time, I kind of had an itch for wanting to get on the microphone, and I couldn't do it with the current means and ways that were available to me and Fizz at the time. And so we said, we're going to take the long road. And we did that. We bought a beat machine. We saved up, we scratched our pennies. We got a sampler. We got looped. We started buying things. We started expressing ourselves. And one thing was, we did Black Season, and that was really good. But I think I felt personally, I can't speak for you, Fizz, but I felt like we kind of pinned ourselves into being something, kind of like an X-Clan thing, where you have to be this persona, and so you're limited as to the amount of topics that you can cover. And I kind of felt like we kind of pinned ourselves into something. And this is where the universal soul concept really took birth, is we wanted to have an open canvas. We wanted to do, if we wanted to sound poppy, we'll sound poppy. If we wanted to do a song that was political, we did a song that was political. If we wanted to make a song to make people laugh, we did that. And we didn't care who liked it or who didn't like it. We were being universal soul, and that was our mission, was to have a universal sound, a universal concept. And that's why I fell in love with hip hop, is because we were actually doing that. We had, it was a long start, but once we really got that mission down, that we are here to explore new sound, like Star Trek. I was on board and engaged.
Yeah. Damn it, Jim. Damn it, Jim. I'm a rapper.
And Tracey, you were saying that you were into ball back then more. Because I can remember you used to ball out, man. I remember. Back in the day. Yeah. What made you want to put more time into the hip hop game, man?
Well, see, I come from a musical family, like everybody in this Zoom call. You know what I mean? So music, it's always been ball, music, school, ball, music, school, ball, music, school. And, Finley and I, David, we've been messing around with this hip hop thing since we were little kids. So them guys doing their thing, while they were doing Black Season, I was here for a minute. Then I went back to Glasgow for a few years for school. And, I was playing ball up there. Them guys were, I'm listening on the radio every weekend, listening to these guys. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? When I go back to Halifax, I'm getting involved.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, even taking it further back than that, my uncle showing me the Sugar Hill Gang LP after I'm listening to gospel and my mother's music, my grandmother's music, my grandfather's music. I'm listening to all this music, and I'm listening to this new thing that is, it's new. I've never heard this before. And I got to be honest with you, man, when I heard that day, I knew that some way, shape, or form I would get myself involved somehow in that type of music, man, because it was different. It was new. It was fresh. And I mean, we're talking, I say old school, to the hip, to the hop, to the hip, but I've never heard that before.
Yeah. It was Sugar Hill Gang record for me as well. Showdown, Sugar Hill Gang versus the Furies 5. I got it in 1979, Christmas, by a cousin. And I often wonder, I look back and I go, why the hell did she give this to me? Because when I put on that record, man, it was it. It was it. I was like, I am somehow connected to this shit, man. And it's going on. The feeling has never left me. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. It's so true.
The question in short, my mom had her music. My grandmother had their music. My uncles and aunts, cousins, even your people, Jay, they all had their music.
Yeah.
The new thing was our music. Just us. So this is something I can relate to. That was really my inspiration from the start, leading up to messing with these guys who I love, my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And even leading up to messing with Finley and David and Universal Soul, it was no brainer for me.
Yeah.
That's my family. I rode with these guys. I ride and died with these guys since I was a kid. So asking me, hey man, you need to join up. Man, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, so it you know, for me it was simple, man. It was I had to do it. You know, I had to do it.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Like, to be honest with all you guys, like, you know, and I know David and Finley know that we talk about this like this is probably the trailing time we talk about it. You know, like I say, my inspiration comes from just rolling with these fellas, wanting to do something pure together, wanting to get people to rock to what we're feeling, our vibe. And, you know, that was my inspiration from the start, regardless. And even when I was doing stuff with Tremaine, doing the Overlords, just wanting to rock and get people to rock to our vibe. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're sharing a piece of yourself every time you're up there. And that's what I wanted to do, you know?
Yeah.
So,
just a side note. This story just came to mind, man, Tracey. Oh my goodness, man.
Here we go.
Oh man, it's hilarious. So we were at St. Joseph's, was it? St. Joseph's. Oh my goodness, man! And we were on the track team, right?
I knew he was gonna.
But we because we were bigger guys, we do the shot put in the discus.
Oh, remember that day?
Yeah, I remember. So we were outside practicing discus, right? So we were on opposite ends of the playground, throwing the discus back and forth to each other, back and forth. And then Tracy said, "I got you," and went spin. Ooh! And it went over my head towards the building, and the discus found the only glass window left in the building. Man, went. And we looked at each other and we ran. I don't know why we were running.
Hey,
everybody ran back in the day.
They said, "Listen, did you do that?" I said, "Yes, miss, I did."
Yeah.
You're on the track team. You're on the track team for sure. I was like,
"Oh my goodness!"
You know what, man? God rest his soul, man. Leon Adams, man, because Leon was track practice with us that day.
Yeah.
And Mr. McKinley come over. Who did that? No, sorry, it wasn't Mr. McKinley. It was remember the teacher used to have the German Shepherds?
Oh yes.
It was her class that it went through.
Yeah.
And she came up, who did that? Leon Adams was sitting there laughing in her face, just laughing laughing in her face. I'm nervous. I'm like, okay, man, these people are gonna kill me, man. I'm like, Derek, what should I do? What should I do? Man, let's just go, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was comfort.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's okay.
No, man, just old times.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, man. Universal Soul, a big part of Halifax hip hop. Like Halifax, especially being a musical hub. Not to mention, our ancestors that came through the Underground Railroad. Music, the message, the hymns. That was always with us, right? And so even in '91, I believe Halifax was viewed as there was like a Halifax pop explosion. Halifax was viewed as a hub for a new kind of like grunge area with Eric's Trip, Sloan, all those sort of indie bands,
people like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But then hip hop like was also this time of like, you guys were like kind of like from Down by Law into the golden age, and you've been there all along. What would be Universal's message now if you were to drop an album or what would your message be?
Yeah, start off, Tracy.
Man, listen, our message is always the same. We're relevant. We just do what we do.
Yeah.
That's our message. As David said, if we gotta go political, we go political. If we go party, we go party. We just do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're artists. We're this is our music. This is us.
Yeah.
So our message is you're getting a piece of us every time you listen to our stuff. Whether you see us live or whether you listen to us recorded, that's what you get. Like we're I don't think that our agenda is like really left side or really right side. It's our side. It's our view. And when it comes to what we put out, We put out what we're feeling. You know?
Yeah.
We've never, like, for real, we've never conformed to the status quo per se.
Mm-hmm.
We don't try to sound like everybody else. We try to sound like us. We try to sound as dope as we can. Sometimes we hit, sometimes we miss. But, you know, straight up, our message is, hey, you're going to get entertainment, you listen to us. And your kids can listen to our music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For the most part. There are some times where we slip, we curse sometimes.
It's mostly me. It's mostly me.
and David, what would your question be to that? Sorry, Trace.
Go ahead.
What would your question be to that, David? Yeah.
Sorry, rephrase it again. Sorry.
What message would Universal Soul like?
Love.
You know,
love.
Yeah,
love, realness, trueness to yourself. A universal love, a universal message, a universal communication. Let's be together. Something organic like that, and something to deal with the times. There's been a lot of crazy that's happened in this world since Universal Soul, with me included, has put out an album, and even since those guys put out the last album, a lot of crazy has happened. Damn,
indeed.
The world is heating up.
Yeah,
it is, man.
There's no way that that wouldn't go unanswered, you know. So, but yeah, that may be happening anyway, Jay. If we were, it may be when we.
It's a case of when we're already working on some stuff now. So
that's good.
Exactly.
We're like, people think that Universal, you guys not work. No, we still doing what we're doing, but you know, we all have families and kids and lives and stuff like that, and you know, music had to take a little bit of a back burner, but we still do it. You know, I mean, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Give us 2 nights to rehearse, we're on stage rocking it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. And Fizz?
Yeah, just to follow up with what these guys are saying, I would say growth.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've been from point A to point B to point Z, right? And so, you know, forever changing, forever emerging, just like both of them said, you know, just taking a look and seeing what is actually happening and then developing our own style, right? You know, staying in our lane, you know, we're the older statesmen now. You know So you can't be running, try to run track like you used to. So you stay in your lane, you stay at your pace, and nobody looks at you like you're the old guy in the club.
That leads into my next question, Fizz. Actually, if you were able to put into words what your Scotian experience has been as a black man growing up, what you've seen, what you've endured, what it's made you become as a man, and I want you sort of each to answer that question. But we'll start with you, Fizz.
Okay, yeah, man, it's actually been kind of interesting because, you know, not originally from here, moved here when I was younger. And was teased, right? Kind of unmercifully, if I'm being honest. But it's interesting because being teased by those individuals, some of them I became close to, right? Yeah. And it sort of helped to build me. I mean, you know, you can't just walk in somewhere and not be touched, right? So you have to grow. You have to learn how to cope, right? And I think that's the whole thing in terms of just being a black man. You know, I'm still 6'5". People still in the past, possibly presently, find me scary, and I go, "What, really? Really, me?" Yeah. But that's the truth, right? We are living in an era where, you know, we're finally able to breathe, and I hate to say that with George Floyd. But we're finally able to, and what I mean by that is we're finally able to speak our mind. You know what I mean? Like I found like before, like things would happen. Things would constantly happen. You weren't able to say anything, right? We can finally be opinionated about the way that we feel without having guilt, without having anything. There's still a long way to go. There's tons of track that's got to be built. But this is a start right here.
Yeah. That's well said.
So as far as Nova Scotia, you both know, as we do. I know David can contest this when he comes to visit. It's still the same place, you know, like buildings come up, but it's still the same old mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same old venue, right? And I think obviously once that changes, I truly believe it's got to change. It got to be started in the education system, right? Like you got to teach them young. You got to have them figure it out so that they get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my piece.
Cool, man. Tracey, what about you, my friend?
Man, my experience, I got to say, like Derek and like yourself, I'm from a very, my grandmother was the matriarch in our family. And, you know, I was raised to not ask you your first name. I was raised to ask you your last name. So, you know, and that's, I think that's something that's uniquely Scotian.
Yeah.
Just in our people. And for me coming up, you know, I've experienced a lot of bad stuff. I experienced a lot of wonderful stuff. You know, so the bad stuff being, for example, being chased out of Westville by a group of townsfolk with a couple of my cousins being chased back to New Glasgow because of the color of our skin.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, going back to New Glasgow with my brothers that are on this call with you and performing in front of half of the people that chased me out of that town. And I'm saying, we're sorry and thank you for doing this show. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I experienced a whole lot of different things. I experienced a lot of stuff off the spectrum when it comes to, you know, being a black man coming up in this part of the world. But to be perfectly honest with you guys, I love where I'm from. I love this province. I love my family.
Knuckle up and get it on. Leave a picture in your brain so my spit will live on. Who I be? Yo, I'm the cat that did it on. Mixtapes and soundtracks since the days of Farrakhan. This road is full of thorns. No squads are full of scorns. I'ma pack this up quick. You all know my word is born. Been hitting this hard since I was a teenager. Been tearing up tracks since the days of Lone Ranger. Came up in the 90s and I never had a pager. 10 years after that, the league I'm playing in major. Your people know me. Streetwalker, sailor maker. I was booting out tracks before this game made paper. Halifax, most finest non-believers, check the paper. You can run with your squad, but you still in danger. Now the streets of Halifax is been all around the globe, man. Cats don't play with you here. They be talking about you over beer. You all know we flossing over here. Fresh cars got the latest gear. In my town, we roll 20 deep. We coming up, so don't sleep on.
Hey yo, as hard as it may seem, it pays to stay dreaming. When all of those around you down your foot breaking even. As fast come and go, yo, my style ain't changed. Just a little more focused with something to say. My Harley Town don't play. We graduated the thug with the case of the cold world. Try fly from the drug with no position to move.
You know, I'm a family guy. And, you know, David and Finley are my witness. I don't roll with a whole lot of people outside my inner circle.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what I mean? Jay, me and you've been tight since we were kids. Our parents, our grandparents. Derek, me and you grew up in Creighton Street. You know what I mean? I don't roll outside the circle. So when it comes to experiencing a lot of crazy stuff like some people experience, I don't put myself in those situations. I never have. You know what I mean? I'm happy being in my neighborhood. I'm not one of those people that look down on being from the North End and, you know, growing up around Union Square, going up around Brunswick Towers and going to St. Joseph's and, you know what I mean, going to St. Pat's High. I look at that as a blessing because I got to be diverse, be around my people and meet people of different cultures and what have you, and see how different people from different parts of the planet live. So for me, that's been my experience. And even, you know, growing up on Creighton Street, everybody knew everybody. Everybody was tight or related. You know what I'm saying? And whether it's not through blood, it's through love. You feel me?
Yeah.
So coming up, you know, I had a great upbringing. I love coming up where I came up. I love seeing the good times and I love seeing the bad times because it made me grow as a person. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's my take on it.
Yeah, nice. David, what about you, brother?
I'm done.
Okay, thanks, bro. We got so many people.
No.
But it's great. But David,
me, Nova Scotia. Wow. It was like a picture perfect world for me. I was able to imagine this perfect world until somewhere mid high school, and then reality started clicking in on me that I wasn't equal to my white counterparts, or like the realities of world. They shifted. And I reflected that in some of my songs too. Video Cam would be one of them.
Yeah.
And that's still just coming out now. I mean, really, what would George Floyd be without the video footage, right?
Yeah,
Nothing. Just another dead brother.
Oh, it's relevant, bro. It's relevant. It's a hit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I got mixed feelings because I've had these experiences with cops well before any of this push for changing the authorities, you know? I know Rich, I went to Cornwallis. I was fortunate enough to go to this, to generalize it, rich white school. Because this also opened up my eyes. I saw a kid get his $3,000 bike stolen in the morning. My black ass walked home, ate lunch, came back, and he had a new effing bike.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's lights came on for me.
Right.
Right? Because my mom had to work really hard to get all three, my brothers, like to get all three of us our bikes. I knew what that meant for her. And he came back in a lunchtime with a new $3,000 bike. and so
damn.
But like, I mean, with that being said, though, that school also at the end, the Parent Teacher Association paid for my brown ass because I integrated so well with the school. They paid for me to go all over North America. I had a great experience. And it also leads me into my other point where black people kill each other. Because I've never been called white boy so much in my life ever. Let's talk about that, right? Where if you choose to educate yourself, articulate yourself a certain way, and not sound like the herd, you'll get called whatever. I got called white boy a lot. Kind of pushed. So I kind of felt pushed from my own community. And this was my own inner insecurities. This I know now as a man. But at the time, I didn't know this, you know?
I got to jump in on that real quick. Now, see, David Wallace in grade, 8? Was it grade 8?
Yep.
Okay.
Grade 9.
I went to St. Thomas from grade 4 and then left in grade 8, okay, at Cornwallis.
Yeah.
And my experience was a little different. You know, I wasn't called white boy in my own community, you know what I mean? But I was called some other things from that other community. And the reason that I went to St. Joseph's is because I wanted to be around my own people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting kind of tired of being one of maybe 3 black people in the school. You know what I mean? And it was
St. Pat's all day.
No, yeah,
St. Pat's Eve.
You know what I mean?
This kid right here.
The thing is that when David came, David took over my mantle. And then he took it to the next level. Because I left. I didn't want to be there anymore. You know what I'm saying? He came in there and hung with a lot of the same people I hung with, like the Andy Durnfords and the Robert Caldwells and the Teddy McLeans and the Jenny Raymonds. And you know what I mean? And Jenny Raymond.
Jeez.
Hey, to be real, Jenny Raymond is still a close personal friend of mine to this day. My experience is a little different out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be around my people. That's why
Let me round circle this, because I was going to go round circle with my thing. I guess where I'm going is I got exposed to a lot of things, and from the outside community and from my own community. But fast forward until today, you know, I look at how a place like Scotia prepares some. It depends who you're clicking with, I guess, right? But my experiences with my friends, both white, black, and in between. Like Donald Trump opened up my eyes to a lot of things, right? There was a lot of white friends that did not make the cut, right? They got cut off, right? Yeah. And I got no regrets, and there's no looking back. They can stay away. But more importantly than that, I got to speak about the white people that spoke up for black people when Black Lives Matter happened. And I'm saying the support that I found, it's almost shocking, and I shouldn't be shocked because I knew these people when I was going to junior high. I knew them when I was going to high school, and they were good. But I thought I knew these other people that switched up on me too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that threw me all around. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Scotia is a good school for realness.
Scotia can be as bad as Tennessee, except instead of burning crosses in your front lawn and trying to lynch somebody, they're going to smile on your face.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Mr. Adekayode? But I will not have food for dinner.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Scotia. It's systemic. It's closet. It's you don't see it coming. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it coming because the race is up here, educated.
Yeah,
So,
but there was a certain magic, though. There's a certain magic in the North End when I was there and when we were doing Universal Soul. It was the beginning of the gentrification. But that can be a good time because this is a time where artists are moving in, where other cultures and communities are moving in. And there was an energy, a magic on Godigan Street at that time. This helped us fuel because the recording studio was around there. This energy, this magic that I feel was lost last time I was visiting, I can't lie. It just doesn't feel the same in the North End.
Well, how many of us even live in the North End anymore?
It's no longer a community, man. You know what I mean? You can call it that, but you know it's not. It's just not the same.
It didn't feel like it, man.
No. Put it this way, I'll be honest with everybody here. Anytime I'm down on Godigan Street, and there are white people that look me in the face like, "Boy, what are you doing here on Godigan Street?"
Wow.
Yeah, we had 2 episodes kind of looking at that, and I did a bit of research. And, you know, traditionally from like the 50s and 60s all the way up to about 2000, the black population in the North End hovered around 35-40%. And I mean, that's the whole North End, right? Not just, but, you know, you got concentrations of Creighton Street or down by the park or down by UNX Square where it's closer to 90%. But that doesn't take into fact the Hydrostone and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what happened from 2003 to 2016? Steep decline, man. Steep decline. To where now the last census, which was 2016, the black population's hovering around 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the community's been decimated, man.
Yeah, you got a whole lot of people, a whole lot of families that are dying off, and the descendants are moving out. I mean, dog, I don't live in the North End anymore. You know what I mean? Like, neither does Finley, neither does David, neither does Jay, neither do you. And you know, here's the funny thing is, if we try to go back and buy properties, it's 8 times the price that it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's, you know, that's the thing. I never, like, I'll be the first to tell you guys, I never thought I'd be living in Oakland, ever. I never thought I'd be living in the suburbs because I could walk if I had to. If I want to get a drink down the road, I could walk home.
Yeah.
Now I'm out here. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy. Got a beautiful house, beautiful family, very happy man. But the North End is, for real,
condo.
It is Condoville. It's Condoville. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, as I say, they wait for them prices to go way down. They buy them quick. They build them up. Then they charge 4 times what they paid for.
David, what were you saying, man? You were about to say something?
Well, I was going to say, I'd be very surprised if you ever see UNX Square get renovated ever again. I think what you're going to see happen is that whole thing will be sold off. They'll put public housing somewhere far out, somewhere far away again, until that land becomes valuable and they want to gentrify that, right? And then they'll move us again. Right? But seriously, they messed up with Africville. They moved us to prime real estate areas. They moved us to the North End. They moved us to Mulgrave Park. And that's areas that are prime real estate right now, right?
Yeah, that was a straight knee jerk.
Yeah. And now they don't even need to pay for the bulldozers or nothing. They just need to do what they're doing. Just slowly increase it. Keep on shutting down places, push this person out. And slowly but surely, bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah, that's the way the system is set up, and you know it's very sad. Especially
the thing that frustrates me realistically is when we needed it, right? So growing up on Godigan Street, walking down Godigan Street, you'd never ever see anybody from outside of the community, right? And just like what Tracey said, you see businesses that are suffering, right? Nobody's coming in to help until the very last minute, right? And until they can't, you know, and then it gets put up, right? And then somebody comes in and they buy it. That's the thing that hurts the most. is that watching the community literally, get grabbed by the neck and suffocate. That's the only thing that actually hurts me right now is like, because I'm working within the community, trying to, and that's the thing that I try to do right now is give my children a sense of where I came from and a sense of being able to see yourself, because where we live, you don't get to see yourself very often. So if I can bring them into the inner city, into the memory of where I come, now it's obviously not going to be the same, but the point is that I want to give them something, and it's hard even at this point, just like what you guys said earlier, when you're condo here, condo there, and I'm talking about a time where you had this, and Sobeys used to be right there, and then they closed those Sobeys for years, right? And that was there. It's just not the same, bro.
I'm going to say this: my mom still lives down there, and to be perfectly honest, Finley and I, like our invitation we did the Garden 250 celebration.
Yes, sir.
And it was so beautiful to see how many people actually still live in the area that came out and supported. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, that's the first time the hood gave us that type of love. You know what I'm saying? Like where I saw people that I haven't seen in years, and these are people that I've known all my life, and they're like, I didn't know you guys did this. I'll be at every one of these.
It took a long time for us to get. It took us a long time to get love from the hood.
Oh,
it did.
It really did.
It took a long time. Our success came from jamming with rock bands and
doing shows with them. You know what I mean?
This is how we were able to meet other bar owners, though. There was no place to do a hip hop show in Halifax.
No.
Don't let anyone tell you any
differently.
I'll say this. We started off with Cafe Olay, just doing free shows for Conrad here and there. I'm going to say a small cut at the door, hardly.
Shout out to Greg Clark for putting us on back in the day to 2005 or however long. What was that place called over the Pizza Corner?
Double Juice and Pub Flamingo.
Pub Flamingo was down on College. Stage 9 was the last place that Greg was. Like without him, he was a visionary. He checked the people in the hood that were doing what they were doing. Whether it was us, he gave Care Crew he gave them some shows. He gave them their start.
Did he find the Halifax Explosion?
Pardon me?
Did he find the Halifax Explosion?
No, that was a counselor.
Oh, okay.
Wade Mason.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's another guy that bigged us up. That took care of us coming up.
But Greg was also involved with the Marquee, and the Marquee was the Marquee was crucial to our success. I mean, it started with the pub and the Double Juice. Without that start from Greg, really, we had no chance of ever becoming a local name. And it gave us the opportunity to work with these the Seattle sound, if you will, right? We were working with people all the time with different sounds, different techniques. It helped us keep with our universal concept, and in the end, it made the show more exciting. A hip hop band opens up for a rock band, and then the rock band headlines it, and at the end, they both come together, and we did some merge thing. Our live show, like our CD, was one thing, but if you really wanted to see Universal Soul, if you really say you saw us live.
Live,
And our live performance, it was something else. We have an energy that other people just don't have. They're worrying about what they should be doing on stage. We're doing it. We're not worrying about that. We're doing it.
I think, David, you couldn't have sealed it. You couldn't have sold it better. Like, it's authentic, and that's what forms it, right? You know what I mean? Like because of that actual realness. But I just want to bring up a really good point, because that's the natural progression, right? Racism. I don't know if you guys remember that 91 soul quote unquote race riot.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That the city said. So you got windows smashed and all that other stuff. So nobody wanted to let us into the bar. So just like those guys said with Greg and all them, thank God for Condon. Condon, I do not remember your name right now.
Thank you.
But from Cafe Olay, and this was a teen bar. You know what I mean? Like we were well past our teens, but because he believed in us and because he believed in creating something, that was the spot where, and there was no YouTube, there was no TikTok or Instagram. You know, it was just posters up on a telephone pole and filling the place up, right? Yeah. Something that you probably never ever see again from a local band. Yeah. But without these people, without these white business owners who actually believed in just music in general, good music, that really opened up the door for a lot of things, right? Yeah. And you couldn't have said that better, David. Like there was just a.
We built our name. We were building our name, unbeknownst to our community, really, because it was happening outside of the community. Yeah, right. It was happening downtown Halifax, and chances are that someone from the community would show up at the Pub Flamingo or at the whatever, or even at the Marquee when it was right in the hood.
Yeah.
I ain't lying, right? We're very slim, and so it was later on after we got our just desserts, because basically we didn't really care who was liking us or not liking us. We were digging what we were doing. The people who were at our shows loved what we were doing, and that's all we needed. And that turned out that already included Black people. But I'm saying the Black community itself wasn't still on board. This came a little later, and when it came, it was authentic. I remember some of the brothers that I wish they were there. They were never there. They were there, and they came extra. And Corey Marsman would be one of them. He would. There was a time period he came to every other show, man, all the time, checking up on us. There was a couple, Sean Mantley. No, I'm serious. Yeah.
No, I know.
It worked like that, right? And then through 6 Degrees of Separation, Anthony Christmas, I can keep on thinking of them, and they would come and actually come to see us.
Well, no, Anthony been down with us since the start, but don't forget, Anthony rose with us. So it's not family, like he's family. Like I don't even you can't count him. You can't count Anthony. Anthony's one of us.
Sure, I can count Anthony. He was buying drinks. He paid to get in. He wasn't on the guest list.
He paid to get in.
Yeah.
Well, listen, fellas. One last thing I want to ask before we get going. Derek and I left Halifax 20 years ago for our own reasons. David, you're living in Switzerland now. What was some of the choices that made you sort of go in that road to leave Halifax?
Oh God, all kinds. Let me start with the main one. It was me, addiction. I had a problem. And that problem led to me doing things that I'm not so happy with to afford that addiction. I was still making music, but I was lost. And I had an opportunity to restart. And restart I did. I had no idea what I was heading in towards. I moved to a country that didn't have English as an official language when I came here. No one was speaking it unless you really specifically asked them to. And it's a stiff country. It's a straight and narrow country. But guess what? Someone who had my personality traits needs a nice straight and narrow. And I landed on that straight and narrow. And but you know, I still keep my Scotian. My Scotian doesn't go anywhere.
No.
I introduce that to people here, right? Like I don't tone down who I am. I do it when in Rome, do as the Romans do type of mentality, but not in ever selling out who I am, right? I'm me all the way. And so, that straight and narrows worked out. I could move back to Canada and not have to worry about those problems I had to worry about when I was leaving. But life's pretty good here. I got to say, the economy's not bad in Switzerland, and again, with the whole Trump era and things like that, I saw a lot of ugliness, not just come out of America. I saw a lot of ugliness come out of Canada. And yeah, I got to ask myself those tough questions. When I got it so good here, why, right? The answer is simple: friends, family. I can go on and on and on. All right. Yeah. But I got to keep a balance with that. My wife has family and friends here. My kids are integrated here, but they're also interested about Canada. We may go back, but we'll see. But no regrets, man. I've been here 14 years now. The only regret is that I miss my mom. You know, I miss my fam. I miss my friends. I miss this time. I miss this time because it's not the same time. I made some.
I miss you too, brother.
But you know, it's not this.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
David, it is true though. Like, you know, from the time that I've lived abroad, even up here, like the Scotian travels. Like I remember one of the first Thanksgivings in Australia that I spent. I told my girlfriend at the time, but my wife now, hey, we're having supper. I'm cooking supper, right? And she goes, well, it's, you know, Thanksgiving's not really a thing. I said, no, we're inviting people over. We're going to do it, right? So did it up. Had to go find a turkey. Had to go find a turkey. Yeah. But, you know, you did it Scotian style. Friends and family, everybody around and doing their thing. What?
Yeah, chow?
Oh, man, no chow in Australia.
Couldn't find a turkey.
Had time for turkey. But yeah, man, the Scotian travel.
You know what I mean? I had to ask you.
Yeah. But yeah, man, this has been
chow, homeboy.
This has been great, man. It's been special having you guys on to celebrate you guys, man. Like, it's good to see everyone doing well.
Well, Doug, I think I can speak for the other. We're celebrating you guys. We're happy to see this up and running. We're happy to see you guys doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
We're happy to
keeping your guys' show.
We're happy to see us talking about us to us.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I come up with both of you. And, you know, so did David, so did Finley. And you know something, man? For you guys to be out here doing this platform and bringing the experience to people who may not know about Scotia, may not know about our vibrant community, may not know about our traditions, our culture, our heritage. This is big for me. You know what I'm saying? This
is man. Listen, man. This is so crazy.
I'm happy, man.
I'm related. I'm related to you, dear. Right?
Yes.
We bear the same last name. Jay. So much to say about you, but your dad was instrumental in my life.
Amazing.
You know. Just to be able to teach me how to to teach me how to play the drums. He was my first teacher, right? Who looked like me. Amazing. It was amazing. Tracey, family. David just recently found out that we're family on the Clayton side. So and closely related.
You too?
But it's just it's so interesting, man. It's definitely a pleasure. But like Tracey said, couldn't have said it better. Down Home came out, and I was proud of you guys, man. Really, really happy for you guys showing out, and keep it going, man. Keep it going. Love it.
Keep up the good work, guys.
All right. Well, you know, it's been special, man. And like I said, thank you guys for coming out. Jay Jones, take us out, man.
Yeah, man. A blessed day indeed on this lovely long weekend. It's good to see brothers from different mothers, and we're all related and connected. And also, I do want to say this, guys. It's really good to see such self-awareness of who you are as men, coming to terms with different things that you've seen and growing and still having that essence to express and speak your mind. And I hope, what I really hope for is just like Dave said, so make sure that you do continue on this musical path. Bring something out that's relative today from your way that you express yourself. People need to hear these things. We're in an important time. We're in an important time to start show what expression is all about. Just to make sure that we're in touch with our own emotions in music, in arts, in poetry. It might not always be that way. And just living your life and being good fathers. It's important. So I just wanted to say that. That's all I got to say. Church is over. But you know, it's been a great time chilling with you fellas. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
much love.
Absolutely, man.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Breaking new ground, breaking
You have been listening to Down Home. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Breaking new ground, breaking new ground, simple breaking new ground, breaking new ground, breaking new ground.
Two additional music tracks in this episode, Back Around and Where I'm From, are courtesy of Universal Soul.
With the force from the soul, reaching all aspects, getting deep, no time to sleep as you reach your next phase, laying it all on the line. New trails start to blaze, it's a fire inside, a brand new path.
The song, Breaking New Ground, from The Breakdown.
A connection so strong, transcribed with the vibe like magic prescribed.